Welcome to True Crime Documentary, where we venture into the darkest recesses of human nature. Today we're going to unravel a tale that will leave you speechless. A story of love, deceit, and shocking secrets that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the perfect couple. In the picturesque coastal town of Ocean View, California, a honeymoon turned into a nightmare, and a community was left reeling. This is the disappearance of Sophia Martinez, a case that will haunt you long after the credits roll. Ocean View, California, a town where the sun always shines and the waves always crash against the shore. It's a place where people come to escape the chaos of everyday life, to find peace and tranquility. But beneath the surface of this idyllic town, a sinister tale was unfolding. A tale of a wife who vanished on her honeymoon, leaving behind a trail of secrets and lies that would shock the very foundations of this tight-knit community. Meet Sophia Martinez, a 28-year-old marketing executive who had it all. She was beautiful, intelligent, and had a heart of gold. Sophia had always dreamed of a fairy tale wedding, followed by a romantic honeymoon. And it seemed like her dreams had finally come true when she met James Thornton, a charming and successful real estate developer. James was the perfect catch. He was handsome, wealthy, and had a charm that could disarm even the most skeptical of people. The two of them met, and it was love at first sight. They had a whirlwind romance, and before long they were walking down the aisle in a lavish wedding at the Ocean View Grand Hotel, surrounded by over 200 guests. The newlyweds planned to extend their stay at the hotel for a week-long honeymoon, before jetting off to the Maldives for another 2 weeks of marital bliss. But little did they know their happiness was short-lived. Just 3 days into their honeymoon, Sophia vanished without a trace. On the morning of July 15, 2023, James frantically approached the hotel staff, claiming that his wife was missing. According to James, he had woken up to find Sophia's side of the bed empty, with her phone, purse, and other personal belongings still in the room. There was no sign of Sophia, no note, no message, nothing. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. Hotel staff immediately notified the Ocean View Police Department, and Detective Collins was assigned to lead the investigation. As she arrived at the scene, Detective Collins was struck by the eerie calm that seemed to envelop the luxurious hotel suite. The bed was unmade, a half-empty glass of wine sat on the nightstand, and Sophia's favorite novel lay open on the balcony chair. It was as if Sophia had just gotten up and left. But where had she gone? As the investigation unfolded, a web of lies, deceit, and shocking secrets came to light, secrets that would turn a missing persons case into one of the most talked-about criminal investigations in recent memory. As if she had just stepped away for a moment, James Thornton, visibly distraught, recounted the events of the previous evening to Detective Collins. He claimed that they had enjoyed a romantic dinner at the hotel's five-star restaurant, followed by a moonlit walk on the beach. They had returned to their suite around 11 p.m., cheered a bottle of wine, and gone to bed. James insisted that he had not heard anything unusual during the night and had no idea what could have happened to his new bride. As the investigation began in earnest, Detective Collins and her team combed through hours of security footage from the hotel and surrounding areas. They interviewed hotel staff, guests, and local residents, hoping to find any clue that might lead them to Sophia's whereabouts. The community rallied around the search effort, with volunteers organizing search parties and plastering the town with missing person posters. However, as days turned into weeks with no sign of Sophia, suspicion began to fall on James Thornton. Friends and family of Sophia came forward with troubling accounts of the couple's relationship. Sophia's best friend, Elena Rodriguez, revealed that Sophia had confided in her about James's controlling behavior and sudden mood swings. Elena expressed regret for not speaking up sooner, her voice trembling with a mixture of guilt and fear as she recounted instances where Sophia had seemed nervous or withdrawn in James's presence. Further investigation into James Thornton's background revealed a pattern of deception that sent shockwaves through the community. Detective Collins discovered that James had been married twice before, a fact he had concealed from Sophia and her family. Both of his previous marriages had ended under mysterious circumstances, with his ex-wives cutting off all contact and refusing to speak about their experience. As the police dug deeper into James's past, they uncovered a trail of financial irregularities and suspicious business dealings. It emerged that James's real estate empire was built on a foundation of fraud and embezzlement. He had been using his charm and good looks to lure wealthy investors into fraudulent schemes, siphoning off millions of dollars for his personal use. The revelation of James's true nature sent ripples of shock and disbelief through the community. Those who had attended the couple's wedding just weeks earlier couldn't believe they had been duped by James's charming facade. Days earlier, the people of Ocean View struggled to reconcile the image of the doting husband with the emerging picture of a cunning con artist. The fear that had gripped the town since Sophia's disappearance took on a new, more sinister dimension as people began to wonder what other secrets James might be hiding. As the investigation intensified, Detective Collins and her team focused on James's movements in the days leading up to and following Sophia's disappearance. They discovered that James had made several large cash withdrawals in the weeks before the wedding, totaling over $500,000. He had also been in contact with a known smuggler who operated boats out of a nearby marina. The police brought James in for questioning multiple times, but he maintained his innocence, insisting that he was just as desperate to find Sophia as everyone else. However, his cool demeanor and practiced responses only served to heighten suspicions. Detective Collins noted how James's eyes would dart around the room during questioning, how his fingers would twitch ever so slightly when pressed on certain details. It was clear that beneath his polished exterior, James was a man with much to hide. As weeks turned into months, the search for Sophia continued, but hope began to fade. The once bustling tourist town of Ocean View became subdued, a pall of fear and suspicion hanging over its sun-drenched streets. Locals who had once prided themselves on their tight-knit community now eyed newcomers with suspicion, wondering if they too might be hiding dark secrets. The case took an unexpected turn when a hiker discovered a hidden cave system along the coastline, about 5 miles from the Ocean View Grand Hotel. Inside the caves, investigators found evidence of recent human activity, including food wrappers, a portable camping stove, and most disturbingly, strands of long dark hair that matched Sophia's DNA. Community hopes were raised only to be dashed again as each new lead burned into another dead end. As the investigation continued, more of James Thornton's secrets came to light. A former employee of his real estate company came forward with information about offshore accounts and shell corporations used to hide ill-gotten gains. It became clear that James had been planning to disappear for some time, possibly with a significant amount of money. The police also uncovered evidence that James had purchased a variety of camping and survival gear in the months leading up to the wedding, items that were nowhere to be found in the couple's home or hotel room. This discovery led investigators to theorize that James might have been planning to hide out in the wilderness, either alone or with Sophia. As the one-year anniversary of Sophia's disappearance approached, the case had become a national sensation. True crime podcasts, documentaries, and news specials all focused on the mystery of the vanished bride and her husband's web of lies. Armchair detectives across the country pored over every detail of the case, offering theories and speculations that ranged from plausible to wildly outlandish. The media attention brought both benefits and challenges to the investigation. On one hand, it kept the case in the public eye and led to numerous tips and leads. On the other, it created a circus-like atmosphere in Ocean View, with tourists and thrill-seekers flocking to the town in hopes of catching a glimpse of the infamous James Thornton or uncovering some overlooked clue. Throughout it all, Sophia's family never gave up hope of finding her. Her parents, Maria and Carlos Martinez, became fixtures in the media, pleading for information and keeping their daughter's memory alive. The pain etched on their faces was a stark reminder of the human toll of this tragic mystery. As the investigation entered its second year, a breakthrough finally came. A witness came forward with information about a woman matching Sophia's description who had been seen boarding a private yacht in a marina about 50 miles down the coast. This new lead sparked a flurry of activity. with investigators racing to track down the yacht and its occupants. The question on everyone's mind was, could this finally be the break that would lead them to Sophia? Just days after her disappearance, a witness, a dock worker named Tom Bradley, came forward with a crucial sighting. Initially, he had dismissed the encounter, but after seeing a recent news report about the case, he realized the significance of what he had seen. This new lead sent investigators scrambling. They traced the yacht to a shell company linked to James Thornton, providing the first solid connection between James and Sophia's disappearance. Maritime records showed that the yacht had set sail for Mexico on the day of the sighting, but its whereabouts after that were unknown. The revelation that Sophia might have left the country added a new level of complexity to the case. International law enforcement agencies were brought in, and the search expanded beyond the borders of the United States. The possibility that Sophia might still be alive, perhaps held against her will, reignited public interest and brought a renewed sense of urgency to the investigation. As the hunt for the mysterious yacht intensified, more of James Thornton's elaborate plan came to light. Investigators discovered that he had been meticulously planning his exit strategy for years, creating false identities, stockpiling cash, and establishing connections with a network of unsavory characters who specialized in making people disappear. The picture that emerged was one of a man who had spent his entire adult life crafting a false persona, always with an eye toward the ultimate goal. James Thornton, it seemed, had never intended to settle down with Sophia. Instead, she was merely the latest and most ambitious part of his long-running scheme. As international law enforcement closed in on the yacht's possible locations, tension in Ocean View reached a fever pitch. The town had become synonymous with the case, its once idyllic image forever tarnished by the scandal. Local businesses struggled as the tourist industry dried up, replaced by a steady stream of true crime enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists. A breakthrough in the case came almost 2 years to the day after Sophia's disappearance. The yacht was finally located in a small private marina on the coast of Costa Rica. Local authorities, working in conjunction with U.S. law enforcement, raided the vessel in the early hours of the morning. What they found on board shocked even the most seasoned investigators. James Thornton was there, living under an assumed name, but he wasn't alone. With him was a woman who, at first glance, appeared to be Sophia Martinez. However, as the authorities delved deeper, they uncovered a truth stranger than fiction. The woman was not Sophia, but rather an accomplice named Isabella Morales. Isabella, it turned out, was a skilled con artist in her own right who had been working with James for years. She had undergone extensive plastic surgery to resemble Sophia, part of an elaborate plan to assume her identity and access her substantial inheritance. The real Sophia Martinez, tragically, had never left Ocean View. In a final heartbreaking twist, her remains were discovered buried in the cave system where investigators had found evidence of habitation months earlier. Forensic analysis revealed that she had been killed on the very night of her disappearance, likely within hours of returning to the hotel suite with James. The arrest of James Thornton and Isabella Morales brought a wave of emotions crashing over Ocean View and the nation as a whole. There was relief that the perpetrators had finally been brought to justice, but also deep sadness and anger at the senseless loss of a young woman's life. As the full extent of James and Isabella's crimes came to light during the trial, the public was left grappling with the knowledge that such evil could hide in plain sight. The case sparked national conversations about trust, identity, and the masks people wear in the age of social media and carefully curated public personas. For the Martinez family, the resolution of the case brought a mix of closure and renewed grief. They could finally lay their daughter to rest, but the pain of her loss and the betrayal by the man she had trusted with her life would never fully heal. Sarah Collins, whose tireless work had been instrumental in solving the case, found herself hailed as a hero. However, she struggled with the knowledge that they had been so close to finding Sophia in those early days, possibly even while she was still alive. The weight of those missed opportunities would haunt her for years to come. In the aftermath of the trial, Ocean View struggled to reclaim its identity. The town that had once been known for its beautiful beaches and friendly atmosphere was now infamous as the site of one of the most shocking crimes in recent memory. Local leaders worked to shift the narrative, focusing on how the community had come together in the face of tragedy. As for James Thornton and Isabella Morales, they were both sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Their trial had captivated the nation, exposing a world of high-stakes cons and elaborate deceptions that seemed more fitting for a Hollywood thriller than real life. The case of Sophia Martinez's disappearance and the unraveling of James Thornton's web of lies served as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath even the most perfect-seeming surfaces. It sparked important conversations about trust, intimacy, and the importance of truly knowing someone before committing to a life together. In the years that followed, Sophia's case became a cautionary tale, a tragic example of how appearances can be deceiving. Books were written, documentaries were made, and her case was studied in criminology classes across the country. While nothing could undo the pain caused by James Thornton's actions, there was hope that by sharing Sophia's case, others might be spared a similar fate. The sleepy town of Ocean View would never be the same. The Oshi Grand Hotel, once a symbol of luxury and romance, struggled to shake off the shadow of the tragedy that had unfolded within its walls. Many locals moved away, unable to bear the constant reminders of what had happened. Yet even in the face of such darkness, there were glimmers of light. The Martinez family established a foundation in Sophia's name, dedicated to supporting victims of fraud and domestic abuse. Detective Sarah Collins became an advocate for improved international cooperation in missing persons cases, using her experiences to push for changes in how such investigations are handled. As the years passed, the case of the vanished honeymoon bride became a part of criminal folklore, a case told and retold, each retelling a reminder of the thin line between love and betrayal, trust and deception. And in Ocean View, where it all began, the memory of Sophia Martinez lived on in the waves crashing against the shore, in the laughter of young couples strolling on the beach, and in the enduring hope that even in the darkest of times, truth and justice will eventually prevail. The case of Sophia Martinez and James Thornton serves as a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature and the devastating consequences of deception. It challenges us to look beyond surface appearances and to value authenticity and honesty in our relationships. While the case brought justice, it also left lingering questions about how well we can truly know another person. In the wake of this tragedy, communities across the nation began to reevaluate the way they approached newcomers and the importance of building genuine connections. The ease with which James Thornton had inserted himself into Ocean View society and won the trust of so many served as a wake-up call, prompting many to reconsider their own vulnerabilities to manipulation and fraud. The ripple effects of the case extended far beyond Ocean View. Security protocols at hotels and resorts were tightened, with many implementing new measures to ensure the safety of honeymoon couples. The case of Sophia Martinez and James Thornton will forever be a reminder of the importance of vigilance and the need to look beyond the surface to uncover the truth. The real estate industry, shaken by the revelations of James Thornton's fraudulent empire, underwent increased scrutiny and regulation. For those who had known Sophia, the pain of her loss was compounded by feelings of guilt and regret. Friends and colleagues agonized over missed signs and unheeded intuition. Elena Rodriguez in particular became an outspoken advocate for trusting one's instincts and speaking up when something doesn't feel right in a relationship. The case also shed light on the dark underbelly of the digital age, where carefully curated online personas can mask sinister realities. Social media experts and psychologists pointed to James Thornton's skillful use of social media to create an image of success and trustworthiness as a cautionary tale for the digital era. In the legal world, the case set several precedents. The complex nature of James and Isabella's crimes, spanning multiple jurisdictions and involving elaborate identity fraud, led to changes in how such cases are prosecuted. Law schools began using the case as a study in the intersection of fraud, murder, and international law. For the investigators who had worked tirelessly on the case, the resolution brought a mix of satisfaction and lingering frustration. While they had ultimately uncovered the truth, the knowledge that Sophia's life could have been saved if certain clues had been interpreted differently weighed heavily on their minds. In popular culture, the case spawned a cottage industry of books, movies, and TV shows. Some focused on the tragic love story angle, while others delved into the intricacies of the investigation or the psychology behind James Thornton's deception. The case's blend of romance, betrayal, and high-stakes crime proved irresistible to audiences, ensuring that Sophia's memory would live on in the public consciousness. As time passed, Ocean View slowly began to heal. The cave where Sophia's remains were found was turned into a memorial garden, a peaceful place for reflection and remembrance. The Ocean View Grand Hotel, after struggling for years with its dark history, was eventually renovated and rebranded, becoming a symbol of the town's resilience and determination to move forward. The Martinez family, though forever changed by their loss, found purpose in their tragedy. They became vocal advocates for tougher background checks and marriage licenses, and pushed for legislation that would make it harder for individuals with a history of fraud or domestic violence to hide their past. Their efforts, known as Sophia's Law, gained traction in several states, potentially saving countless others from a similar fate. Detective Sarah Collins, haunted by the case that had defined her career, channeled her experiences into writing a best-selling book on investigative techniques and the importance of interagency cooperation. Detective Sarah Collins's insights revolutionized the way missing persons cases were handled, particularly those involving potential fraud or identity theft. As for James Thornton and Isabella Morales, their case didn't end with their incarceration. Their high-profile trial had made them infamous, and they continued to make headlines even from behind bars. James, ever the manipulator, tempted to profit from his notoriety by shopping around a memoir, a move that was met with widespread public outrage and eventually blocked by the courts. Isabella, on the other hand, showed signs of remorse. She became a key witness in several other fraud cases, her testimony helping to bring down a network of con artists that spanned multiple countries. Her cooperation led to a slight reduction in her sentence, though she would still spend the majority of her life behind bars. The digital footprint left behind by James and Sophia became a subject of intense study. Social media analysts pored over their posts, photos, and online interactions, searching for clues that might have revealed James's true nature. Their findings led to the development of new algorithms designed to detect patterns of deceptive behavior online, tools that would go on to be used by both law enforcement and dating sites. In Ocean View, the annual beach festival, which had once been a carefree celebration of summer, became a more somber event. A candlelight vigil for Sophia was incorporated into the festivities, a reminder of the tragedy that had touched the community. But as years passed, the vigil evolved into a celebration of life and resilience, with locals and visitors alike sharing stories of hope and survival. The case had far-reaching implications for the tourism industry as a whole. Hotels and resorts around the world implemented new safety measures, including more rigorous background checks on employees and improved security protocols for honeymoon and couples. The hospitality industry's response to the tragedy became a case study in crisis management and corporate responsibility. As the 10th anniversary of Sophia's disappearance approached, Ocean View prepared for an influx of media attention. Documentarians, journalists, and true crime enthusiasts descended on the town, each hoping to uncover some new angle on the case that had captivated the nation for a decade. The renewed interest brought mixed feelings for those who lived through the events. For some, it was a painful reminder of a time they'd rather forget. For others, it was an opportunity to share their stories and ensure that Sophia's memory lived on. In a surprising turn of events, the case continued to inspire change and growth, a testament to the power of tragedy to transform and uplift. One of James Thornton's previous wives broke her silence, agreeing to an exclusive interview with a major news network. Her revelations about her life with James shed new light on his pattern of abuse and deception, helping to fill in some of the gaps in his troubled history. The interview sparked a new wave of public interest in the case, leading to the discovery of several other victims of James's fraudulent schemes who had been too afraid or ashamed to come forward earlier. Their stories painted a picture of a man who had left a trail of broken lives and empty bank accounts across the country. In response to these new revelations, several support groups sprang up, both online and in person, for victims of fraud and deception. These groups provided a safe space for people to share their experiences and find the support they needed to rebuild their lives. The case also had a profound impact on the legal system. Prosecutors and lawmakers used the lessons learned from the Thornton trial to close loopholes in existing fraud and identity theft laws. The complex nature of the crime, which crossed state and international borders, led to improved cooperation between different law enforcement agencies. In the world of academia, the Thornton case became a staple in criminology and psychology curricula. Students analyzed every aspect of James's behavior, from his childhood experiences that might have shaped his behavior to the sophisticated techniques he used to manipulate those around him. The technology industry too was influenced by the case. Software developers created new apps designed to help people verify the identities of potential partners, while cybersecurity experts developed more sophisticated tools to detect online fraud. As years turned into decades, the case of Sophia Martinez and James Thornton became more than just a tragic tale of deception and murder. It evolved into a cautionary case, passed down through generations, reminding people of the importance of trust, vigilance, and the power of community in the face of evil. In Ocean View, life gradually returned to a new normal. The town, once shaken to its core, began to heal, and the memory of Sophia Martinez became a symbol of resilience and hope. The case would always be remembered as a reminder of the devastating consequences of deception and the importance of seeking truth and justice. The town of Ocean View would never forget Sophia or the ordeal it had endured, but it refused to be defined by tragedy. Instead, Ocean View became known as a community that had faced the unthinkable and emerged stronger. It was a place where neighbors looked out for one another, and newcomers were welcomed with open arms, albeit with a healthy dose of caution. The Ocean View Grand Hotel, once the site of so much heartache, was eventually sold and transformed into a community center. The room where Sophia had spent her last night became a library dedicated to resources on personal safety, healthy relationships, and financial literacy. It was a fitting tribute to a young woman whose life had been cut short by deception and greed. On the 20th anniversary of Sophia's disappearance, the town unveiled a new monument in the center of Ocean View. It was a beautiful sculpture of a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis, symbolizing transformation and hope. The base of the monument bore a simple inscription, "In memory of Sophia Martin. May her case remind us to cherish truth, love, and community." The unveiling ceremony was attended by hundreds of people, including Sophia's family, Detective Sarah Collins, and many of the townspeople who had been part of the search and investigation. As the sun set over the Pacific, casting a golden glow over the gathered crowd, there was a sense of closure, a community that had been through the fire and emerged stronger on the other side. In the years that followed, Ocean View became something of a pilgrimage site for those touched by similar tragedy. People came from all over the country to visit the Memorial Garden, see the Butterfly Monument, and to walk the beaches where Sophia had spent her last days. They came seeking understanding, closure, and hope. The case of Sophia Martinez and James Thornton had become more than just a sensational crime case. It had become a parable for the modern age, a stark reminder of the danger that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most picture-perfect lives. But more than that, it had become a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of community, and the enduring nature of love and memory. As the sun set on another day in Ocean View, the town that had seen so much pain and healing, the gentle waves lapped at the shore, whispering secrets of the past and promises of the future. And somewhere perhaps, the spirit of Sophia Martinez looked down on the community that had embraced her memory, finally, at peace. Thank you for joining us for this gripping true crime case. We hope you found it engaging and thought-provoking. Your interest and support mean a great deal to us. We look forward to bringing you more captivating stories in our upcoming videos. Each tale we share is carefully crafted to delve into the complexities of human nature and the intricacies of criminal investigations. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe. Remember, sometimes truth is indeed stranger than fiction. We'll see you in our next video, where we'll uncover another fascinating case from the archives of true crime. Take care and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next thrilling case. Goodbye for now.